Are you curious what was on the laundry list and when we might expect the next update? Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. The Sims Direct tweeted, we've got a new laundry list for the new season. We also have a new roadmap, which I did a separate video on. I'll link that at the end if you're interested in it. Then goes on to say, check out the top reported community concerns we aim to resolve in the next patch, which they then, of course, link to. They have then their follow-up tweet that they do pretty much with every laundry list is the laundry list shares the top concerns we hope to resolve in the next patch. There are topics being worked on that are not listed and require an extended investigation or further information, so please continue reporting and me too any issues on AHQ. I'll talk about a few of those too. So the laundry list is here. It does say, please note that some topics can be tricky and require an extended investigation on their end. So even though they're actively reviewing, it's not a guarantee they'll have an immediate fix in the upcoming patch. So even though it's on the list, there's a possibility they may not be fixed. I generally find most things tend to be fixed, and it's usually the exception where something from the laundry list isn't fixed in the update, but we shall see whenever we actually have the update. I usually do comment about that when I do go over the update when it happens. So at first glance, it seems like it's a pretty long list. But if you look a little closer at it, there's actually quite a few that are like infants are stretching, and so they're fixing a number of cases where the infant stretches. So if you were to think of that as one issue as opposed to a bunch of issues, the list is shorter, unfortunately. But there are still some pretty decent fixes on here. You know, there's been an issue for a long time where chefs wouldn't enter the restaurant. There's a bug fix mod, at least one for that. That's supposed to be fixed. Right now, with infants, the food exploring is resetting or not known to the other caregiver. That's supposed to be fixed. There is a milestone one here, not the big milestone issue, but studying numbers for the toddler milestone can't be completed, and I think that's because they're out of order. So yay, that's going to be fixed, or supposed to be fixed. Your werewolf pack values panel is blank. Climbing excursion from Snowy Escape, you can't move to the next stage. That is supposed to be fixed. That is new from the infant update, so that wasn't an issue before that. There's an Xbox one there and some console ones there that are supposed to be fixed. Another one, parent needs to be introduced to the infant, which was previously the parent needed to introduce themselves to their toddler. It's now gravitated down to infant. The toddler one's been an issue for a long time, so if they're fixing this quickly, that actually would be really good. But for now, my workaround is I just have the infant smile at the caregiver/parent, and then that seems to open up all the options that you need to do. The other workaround is to hire a nanny and get an introduction that way, but I find the smiling is easier to do. And you can see, like, there's a few things here to do with, like, some clothing things and some creative sim things. And, you know, trees, plants, and Moonwood Mill aren't changing in color in the fall season. That's supposed to be fixed. So that's pretty much it for what's on the list. I'm really hoping we get a bit more than what they're showing there. It is showing as long, so it's possible. I find sometimes when they have something that's longer that we do get more than what they show, sort of almost proportionally. So fingers crossed we get more than that. So some notable things that aren't there that are probably that, you know, take lots of investigation or need more information are the gardening fixes that have been an issue for quite a long time. I.e., if you play with gardens in the game, you know the plants revert to dirt piles. And also sometimes if you haven't harvested your plants and you go off the lot, you save and quit or anything like that, a lot of times they end up in your inventory. So those things, none of that's on the list. Another thing is for console players, the whole change to build controls and the fact of, you know, changing that's not noted there. But in that case, it's possible that because they made that by design and it's not actually considered a bug, they might not put it on the laundry list. And it still may be possible that they are going to do that with the update. You can only hope, because it was a by design thing as opposed to really considered a bug, right? So the laundry list tends to be bug reports more so. So I can see them not having it on there and still maybe doing something about that. And then, of course, there's 3 growing together, pretty big issues. One is that loose tooth, you know, the issues it was causing, so they disable it completely, and that was notably not on there. though I wasn't actually expecting it because the fact that they disabled it, and it's been disabled on console too now. It initially was just out only for computer players, but everybody's got that now in their game, makes me think that it's a bit more complicated and it's going to take them a little time to fix it, and that's why they disabled it. There's an issue, especially for rotational play, where Sims are losing their milestones, which is a bigger issue for infants because you can't gain them back. So if the infants lose their milestones, and they're kind of stuck as being a bit of a lump because they can't do anything. There is actually a recent mod that's supposed to possibly fix that issue. If you're interested, I will link it down below. And if you want a little bit more detail on it, I could do a separate video. Just comment if you want that. And then there's also the issue with changing traits in Create a Sim if you have additional self-discovery traits. And that's an issue if you have the CAS full edit mode cheat on. Or also it can happen if you download Sims from the gallery, or even if you save your own Sims to your library. I do that and then maybe want them at a different save, and I often will try and change their traits, not even using any cheats, but it can corrupt your CAS. And from what I'm hearing, it can actually spread. So I personally have just disabled that option because of how I play and the fact that I save my Sims to my library and move them to other saves and usually do change their traits. I don't want to have to think about that. But if you don't do any of that, then it's not really a big deal. But it's still a pretty big issue that probably is going to take them a little bit of time to figure out. So hopefully they'll get some of those things. And I'm sure there's lots more issues that you've experienced yourself that you would have liked to have seen on there. Those are just some of the big ones I see mentioned a lot. So one thing that I do want to make a note of, because I do see this commenting on my video even still, is that a lot of people are having their infants stuck to the parents' feet, which I've had a little bit, but they don't get stuck. They might just go down visually and then come right back up. But if they're actually stuck down there, that is due to CC cribs, and in particular Bandicam's crib mod. And I've even heard the changing table. So check your mods and custom content, because that is all related to that. Or if you don't have the infant stage in your game, like if they're going from newborn to toddlers, that's mod related. That is not anything that's in the game. There are actual reports for both of those things, but they're in like the mod issue area as opposed to an actual bug. But I do see a lot of people commenting about those things, so I'm just mentioning that. That's why it wouldn't be on the list as something that would be fixed, and it's not going to be something fixed on their end because the modders would have to fix the mods, or hopefully they're already have the more recent mods. A lot of things have been updated, so just always check your mods. But I'm going to move along to when we might expect this update. So they said April, so we know it's going to be this month. And historically, the last 3, it's been 7 days between when the laundry list came out and when we got the update. So I think it's probably fairly possible that we might get this next Tuesday. But in the past, it was more likely to be around 2 weeks between them, though sometimes it was shorter. And we had one where it was 28 days, but that was a special. That was a My Wedding Stories laundry list. So that was just, they were just sort of getting something out there so they knew that people knew that they knew about the issues. And so, it helped just provide more information on that. So I'd say the 28 days was an anomaly. And we already know that it's going to be in April. So it's definitely not going to be in 28 days, but it could be either a week or 2 because both of those still fall in April. But we also know from the roadmap, spoiler if you haven't seen that we're getting 4 kits in this next 3 months. So I wouldn't be surprised if the update that we get with these bug fixes also prepares the game for a kit or more. But we'll know more later. So let me know if you're excited for the things that are on the laundry list, or if there's some things like me that you would have liked to have seen that aren't on there. And if so, what things that you were hoping to see, either some things that I mentioned or other things that I didn't mention as not on there, in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Likes and comments are always appreciated and they really help with the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!